Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're here again at the Younger Self MD podcast show. And today I have the amazing Dr. Valerie Mukanga. And for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dr. Didi, Dr. Ndidiamaka Obadan, also known as Dr. Didi. I'm the founder of Younger Self MD Medical Clinic, Health and Wellness here in Georgia. And our amazing guest, Dr. Valerie, is a dentist. I'll let her introduce herself. Go ahead. Thank you for joining us today, Dr. Valerie.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me to your show. I'm Dr. Valerie Mukanga, and I am a dentist. I'm a general dentist, and I have my own practice, Healing Wings Dental, that we founded about 7 years ago. And we are located in the Dallas area, in Arlington, Texas, to be precise. So we do everything that has to do with general dentistry for the most part.
Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, did you say Arlington?
Yes.
That's one of those places I don't think I've been to yet, but I love visiting Texas every time I travel there. Okay, so this is how I normally ask my guests. Tell me why you do what you do. Share a little bit of your story with us. How did you get here?
Yes, that's a good question. And I love to talk about it. So basically, me really like in my family, there were a lot of people, that had dental problems. I'm originally from Congo, the Democratic Republic of Congo. And when we grew up, honestly, there was no such a thing as going to see a dentist on a regular basis. First of all, people were hard pressed, with the level of poverty of most people there. When they went to see the physician if there was a complication, and also the point at which they went to see a dentist would be when things way south, like when they needed to have a tooth removed, last
Right,
resort. So
exactly.
yeah, so lots of people in my family suffered from dental problems. In fact, I remember one of my aunts, really, whenever she would, smile, she would always cover her mouth because, lots of cavities, halitosis, bad breath and all that. And so that, but also even me myself, when I was younger, I lost a tooth, one of my front teeth. And so it was only when I was about to come to the US that that was actually fixed properly, where I had a bridge. So, it's all of that that has happened. But there was something else too that happened later on after I finished college. That's 1998. I was still in college. I made a decision after I finished college, my bachelor. However, I remember when I was a sophomore, I heard the news of one of my uncle who had decay, and he went to see a doctor after a while, a dentist, but it was too late that day because he ended up having a stroke and passed. And truly, truly, like I did not believe that that could happen. Such outcome could happen. But with all of that, me myself experiencing issues and also finding solution in dentistry, and having family members and church members and all that, I mean, I got interested in the field.
It's a great field. And oh my goodness, your story is amazing. It is fantastic. Like, you said so many things. I mean, and it's so powerful how you shared that story with the lady who was embarrassed to smile as a result of her teeth. And you mentioned halitosis and bad breath, which is a major thing that a lot of people deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then even the most serious complication of all, the stroke, um
Exactly.
nobody will ever think that that can result from having issues with your teeth, and
Exactly.
oral health and everything. Wow. So it's a very important field. It's very much needed, and we are so glad that you're going to share all this amazing tips for us on how to
Yeah.
keep our teeth healthy, and what other tips would you like to share with us today?
Well, okay, so I start with, dental tips and then, some of the tips that I've learned along the way. But as far as like dental tips, so it was really, when I got to dental school that I realized that the whole story with my uncle was true because I just thought they made something up, from not understanding. But the same infection that travels through your teeth goes through the same bloodstream that leads to your heart or that leads to your brain. I have a good friend of mine, dentist as well. She said, your mouth sits between your heart and your brain. You got to take care of it. And I said, you know what? I want to steal that. No, I'm not stealing. I'm taking that. Is that okay? But,
Literally.
just when you think about it, it's the entry gate of so many systems, and so we ought to take care of it. So, recommendations are make sure that you brush your teeth at least twice a day. Flossing is very, very important. Why? Because when you do not floss your teeth, it's like I was thinking the other day, and it's like, you know how there's some little spaces between your fridge and maybe your countertop somewhere, and you can't quite reach that, right? With you
Right.
have to move things around, but like we don't have to move teeth around to clean between them, but the bristle of the toothbrush don't go between the teeth,
Yeah.
which is the reason why we have the floss that's going to allow you to really move things around. Because just imagine if you don't clean those areas, it's going to accumulate dirt and all of that. And it's the same thing with your teeth. If you don't floss, you're going to accumulate, plaque, bacteria that's going to start, cavities or infections or even bone loss. So another thing too is, it's very important to see a dentist at least twice a year to just make sure that everything is kept in check. Because, there's at some point, even the plaque that you can remove, at some point it becomes hard and there's nothing that you really can do and you truly need, assistance of a professional to get things under control. Yeah.
You are just touching on so many important things, with the recommendations, brushing the teeth twice a day, flossing, and definitely following up with the dentist regularly so that they can detect things. You mentioned earlier in the
Mm-hmm.
story about the people who generally, like, I'm from West Africa, from Nigeria originally too, and they
Mm-hmm.
tend to want, I mean, in general, I mean, I don't even know if it's just an African thing or just generally people don't want to get things fixed until it's totally really bad. I'm a
Exactly.
nephrologist, so most of the time I see people coming in when they have already approached end-stage kidney disease and they're upset that you're telling them now they have to be on dialysis or transplant
Mm-hmm.
because their kidneys have failed when they had a lot of time
To take
most
care
of
of
the
things.
time to do things beforehand, just like you're talking about now with
Right.
with doing all these little things that we can do to prevent you from getting your teeth getting so bad where you now have to have really serious consequences as a result of the disease. We don't
Exactly.
have to wait. I said it. I said, let's move from catastrophic to preventive care. Let us not wait until things
Yeah.
are totally damaged before we act. And, let's
Right.
do the things that prevent. And these three amazing steps will help us get rid of our halitosis, get rid of our our cavities, and yeah, we have to see the dentist every twice a twice a year. So, oh my goodness, thank you for sharing those tips with us.
And something else that I wanted to talk to you about is that even some people may not have, halitosis or bad breath per se, but they may still cover their mouth because they don't like the way the teeth are aligned,
Right.
and so many times people think, what, maybe I want to get braces because, I'm so vain, aesthetic is not that important, but just think about the fact that not only is it linked to even your mental health, when you look good and when you're confident, you show off, and you just show out, the way you ought to. But when things are not, like, it kind of like diminishes you. And something else is that we don't necessarily think about is when your teeth are crowded, if you want to say that, or they're not aligned properly. It also creates areas where that are difficult to clean and where
Yeah.
bacteria can cause even problems. So even aligning teeth is not just about aesthetic, even though you get to reap the benefits of that, but it's also part of, proper treatment and, proper care of your teeth too.
Wow, that is so good. That is so good. Yes, definitely. When you have crowding, when you see, the teeth overlapping each other, and
Mhm.
yeah, it makes it more difficult for sure. How do you not get the floss in between, right? And then
Yes, it
that's a
becomes
perfect,
difficult.
yeah, perfect space for the bacteria and everything to thrive because you're not cleaning
To
it
thrive,
regularly,
yes.
and then it turns into something else, right? So when you go to the dentist, they help you align your teeth and do all this really fancy stuff. They have all these fancy tools in the dentist. And beautiful
Yes, we
machines.
do.
And then, but then you come out, looking good and feeling great. And it definitely, like you said, affects your mental health for sure. Yeah, and makes everything
Mhm.
much better. Oh, well, thank you so much. So there were some other tips that you wanted to share with us that you mentioned earlier about lifestyle and
So,
all that.
yeah, so I'm recently learning how to live, in discomfort. That's one of the things. It's like many times we want to just do, what is easy for us, but growth lies in areas where you're not necessarily comfortable, but you're willing to put your foot forward and to just step in the water, jump in the water. So then another thing that has been truly, truly valuable to me is to be coachable, right, doctor? Because we don't know everything and we have people who know what we don't know. And being coachable doesn't mean that the person who's teaching you something has to be someone that has so many years ahead of you in the field, in which you are thriving, or, but I'm learning from anyone. You can learn from your assistant, you can learn from a mailman. There's so many teachers in life. You just have to open your ears and, be willing to learn. But it's also very important to, and it's been very helpful for me to have mentors. It's really helped me, grow more in my walk. And another thing is really is like to stop seeing problems as something that should be there to just get you stuck. But when you have a problem coming your way, try to figure out, what can I learn from this? And, when you do that, it really just makes you, you know, a better person because you handle the difficulties and, you find solution out of it. Yeah, you become a
Wow,
master.
yeah.
Mhm.
You become a master of what? What was that? I missed that.
That way by just like looking
Yes.
at problem a certain way and just finding solutions, creating, solutions to the problem that you're being faced with, instead of just like hiding, go ahead and go head on and face the problem and find a solution and keep it
I love
moving.
it. I love like that. That is so empowering. I was just gonna ask you to share some things that make you feel empowered recently, and all these things you just said hit the nail on the head. So that is great. Thank you so much for sharing with us. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we're kind of running out of time here, and how can people find you? I have discussed with this amazing dentist who's doing so many great things for great people around the Texas area. And how can they find you?
So I can be found at Healing Wings Dental. Our number is 972 213-0202. We are located in Arlington, Texas, which is one of the suburbs of Dallas area. And besides that, we are also on social media with Healing Wings Dental, but I also have my personal page, which will be Valerie Mukanga Tambashi. That's where we can be found.
Oh, wow. Welcome. Well, thank you. So, yes, if you're looking for an amazing dentist, hit her up. Hit Dr. Valerie Mukanga up, and you'll be taken care of. Thank you for joining us. Here at Younger Self MD, we're currently accepting patients, and you can find us at youngerselfmd.com. I'll put the links for you to click in and book an appointment with us. And our phone number is 445664623. Join us next time for another amazing guest. Thank you so much, Dr. Valerie.